Okay, let's talk about Graham Platner. Earlier today, in a story reported by Politico, Jessica Rassicot, one of the women featured in an article about Graham Platner months ago, came forward and said that Platner had sexually assaulted her 5 years ago by entering into her home without her consent after she repeatedly said no, 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 no. Now, that is just a truncated version of the story, but even as Platner denies this, it comes in the long line of other major allegations he has received, including, but not limited to, a tattoo that looks like a Nazi symbol, infidelity in his marriage, and also a lot of allegations of him being like shitty to other women or possibly misogynistic as well. He has canceled all of the major events for his campaign for the foreseeable future as he reassesses things. And very clearly, there are issues here that at this point are insurmountable. Even the reaction online had multiple people pulling their endorsement, including Hassan Piker.
Politico also spoke with a man Rassicot dated and confided in the years after the alleged incident, and reviewed documents including emails between Rassicot and her therapist and messages between Rassicot and acquaintance. That is curtains. Okay. Mossad paid her ass? No. That is the I believe this allegation. Let me just make that very clear, especially because, once again, there are other friends with correspondence from before Graham Platner became a known entity, right?
And other prominent leftists. It should be said, a lot of leftists already pulled support of Platner after the tattoo and after the Other Times story. There were a lot of people who didn't trust him, said he could be another Fetterman, said that he had a lot of baggage on him that would actually drag him down in the general election. And honestly, to be fair, there were recent polls that showed Platner down against Susan Collins, or at least not leading as much as he was before. He was only up by like 2 points or so in a couple of high quality polls that came out recently. In the wake of all of this, a lot of people are expecting Platner to drop out so that the Democrats can replace him with another candidate, which they are allowed to do if he drops out before the deadline. And once again, these allegations are very credible. I see a lot of people in the comments going, I don't believe it. It's too convenient. You know, establishment Democrats will do anything. Listen, two things can be true at once. Establishment Democrats love propaganda narratives, right? And like to smear and spin things all of the time. And these are very credible allegations that are damaging and in some ways irreversible from his image. And there are a couple of things I want to say about this. Number one, in the past when I have covered stuff about Platner, right, I've been very direct in saying that don't outright just dismiss allegations against him or anything like that just because you like his politics, right? It is valid for people to be frustrated with some of the stories that have come out. It is valid with the amount of stories that have come out for them to feel a little bit trepidatious about his chances at things. But I've also taken the position that don't have this weird double standard that this problematic candidate is really bad, but this problematic candidate, what problematic? You're fucking taking things too seriously. Just be consistent and clear-headed. And consistently, if you look at this situation, whether or not you believe the allegations or not, this is too far gone. There's no reality where the vet on this candidate should have been this bad that all of this had to happen. It was an incredibly poor vet. And I understand that Maine politics is very weird and there are a lot of candidates with some storied and checkered past. Like, that is not lost on me. That has been told to me ever since we started covering Graham Platner. But I think if you're just yelling Democratic smear machine with the amount of credibility behind these allegations, you kind of sound like the same people who are like, Joe Biden looks like super good right now. He's just killing it. He's killing it. Number two, I think a big frustration that I have that comes out of this is talking about it accurately, because a lot of people, because of their partisanship, are going to seize on this and make this giant electability story. Like, oh, you see, all DSA progressive left candidates have these problematic checkered pasts of Nazi tattoos and shit. Or this iron guard defense of like, well, why the fuck does the right and liberals get to get away with problematic candidates? We lose all the time. We got to back this. So what if it is like, don't you want these policies? And it's such a frustrating conversation to have, because it's not really discussing what we're trying to discuss. You're using just whether or not this person gets into the primary as this proxy war for the direction of a party. And the reason you're doing that is our politics is so fucking broken that we are constantly given bad choices and told, no, you got to do it or you'll get nothing. And it's not lost on me when the choice is between like fascism and fucking, Joe Biden politics. Obviously, Joe Biden politics, especially in a year where like thousands of people were dying every day from a virus this motherfucker like didn't care about. But we have such a weird and like fucking high school way that we vet candidates and we excuse things for the things we want that I just think it's so fucking stupid. Look at Neera Tanden, who has been tweeting up a storm for months in this giant like fucking fuck the DSA like campaign that she's doing, right? Neera Tanden going in on Graham Platner for his moral failings. Neera, you worked for Bill Clinton. Shut the fuck up. Like, what are you talking about? Sure, you can call out Platner, but you're the last fucking person to just walk or to just sneer your fucking nose at people. And obviously there are a lot of leftists who are super like, oh, you're a fucking asshole if you don't just like put your arm up and raise a flag to Platner tomorrow. I don't think that's a healthy way to just engage with politics. Again, these are politicians, okay? They're not your issues. They're people you're electing to represent your issues. Do you understand? If you're just putting all of your faith in politicians, you're going to be disappointed. You should put some faith and have them surprise you if they're competent. There's a lot of things that Zoran Mamdani has gone above and beyond that have been very surprising about him. There are also some things that a lot of people who voted for him are frustrated by. You hear it on every platform where they complain. But that's the prevailing thing about this story. Even take Mallory McMurrow. That's another story of somebody who dropped out, right? She dropped out of the Michigan Senate race, right? Against Abdul Al-Sayed. McMurrow had an aggressively terrible campaign that was going on. She fumbled so much, right? And Sayed took the lead. Now it's between him and Haley Stevens, who also has a lot of problematic things about her, is like super on the AIPAC train. But even outside of that, is so establishment coded in the way she moves about things. It's very hard to see her gaining ground. But even still, there's this giant smear campaign being pushed about Al-Sayed apparently being sexist towards her, which is, honestly, it echoes a lot of the fucking attacks that Hillary Clinton launched against Barack Obama in the 2008 campaign. Like, very similar, like just normal digs against somebody being seen as actually, this is like a sexist attack. But listen, that's obviously political spin and in bad faith. But that kind of spin and bad faith makes when actual sexism and shit happens, like in the Graham Platner story, it muddies the waters entirely because there is such a double standard from the same party fighting over these primaries. It becomes very hard for people to be morally consistent in politics. And I understand to some people that's bullshit, to some consultants, what the fuck is the point of being morally consistent? But just for the sake of fucking democracy, this is so fucking bad. I don't know. I'm not really, there's not a script to this. I'm just kind of speaking off the top of my head, but I'm just being sincere that I'm so utterly frustrated at the way we deal with politics. And I make one of these videos every couple of months when something like this happens, but just like, what else can I fucking say? It's just like textbook. It's a midterm year where everybody's feelings and like immediate political instincts are heightened to 11. And every political consultant group, when faced with the reality that politics are changing, has one of two options. It's either A, figure it out and adapt, or B, die on the hill that you fucking sit on even though you have nothing left. And so many of them are just fucking dying on that hill. And I think if you're one of the people who is tired of the Democratic establishment, you should not take that same approach. And a lot of people should not have taken that same approach with Graham Platner. I'll be very honest with you. For me, yeah, I said before, I thought he was very problematic. I was very wary of him. Clearly, it was way worse. It was so much worse. I didn't want to endorse him. I don't live in Maine, right? I didn't want to support him. And I'm kind of glad I didn't endorse him or any of those things. But shit, man, now that the cat's out of the bag, watching people just like immediately go to like this weird, like conspiratorial place, as opposed to like, man, fucking sexual assault's really bad, is really disheartening. Because you see people repeating this same talking points they have called out for years on this shit. And it's not like a leftist thing, like all these people are being disingenuous. It's just a politics thing. I have at this point seen every single political spectrum pull out the same exact playbook for sexual assault, for racism, for fucking electability arguments. It's all the same. It's so frustrating. Also, for why you should just not vote at all. Like every single political group at some point has both said you either vote right now or you die, or don't vote at all. It's fuck them. Show them who's boss. That's how candidates like Platner like get overlooked, right? Aside from like massive irresponsibility on vetting, but that's why they get so far. We get problematic candidates because we don't have a healthy way of talking about achieving reasonable goals for what we want in our system to be better. We don't have a reasonably healthy form of politics. What's even more interesting is there are candidates like Daria Liza in New York who were denounced by some people who were super supportive of Platner like a week ago. Like that's crazy. I don't know, man. I just wanted to yap about this a bit. I don't know if we approach our political conversations in a way that is conducive to our political goals. Because if we did, this wouldn't have been a problem in the first place. And even if it was, we would have nipped it in the bud a lot sooner. Now people are moving on to Troy Jackson. Some other people are reporting there are problems with Troy Jackson. Some other people are reporting that's a lie. And everyone is reporting that they are exhausted. Fuck, it's the midterms. Fuck it, man. Let me know what you think in the comments.